Hi, this is my metacognitive self-assignment on my critical approach seminar, historical biographical. What is your goal for the assignment? My main goal for this assignment was to achieve a final academic mark about 80%. I really wanted to bounce back from my last assessment in this English 4U class, which was the essay. I got a 65 in that essay. Was very disappointed in myself. So I wanted to improve and get an 80%. I also wanted to show the audience the importance of a historical biographical approach and how effective it truly can be. Identify elements of the success criteria for this assignment. So some elements for the success criteria for the assignment to be successful include being confident in your speaking, using lots of eye contact, having a good volume, not being very fluent, not memorizing your lines, but instead knowing your lines so well that you don't have to memorize the script. You can just talk about them. Involving the audience in the presentation, ask them questions and providing an insightful presentation about the specific critical approach, in my case, historical biographical. What resources have you utilized to ensure the quality of your work? I had to do a lot of research, so I used several different websites, such as thesource.com as well, to improve the words that I used. I had to read books such as Oliver Twist and Christmas Carol to improve the presentation. I also asked the teacher to check over work and make sure that we were on the right track. That's another resource I used. And finally used the knowledge of my group members to improve my personal work as well. What feedback did you receive from your teacher during your student-teacher conference? We didn't have a specific student-teacher conference, but we were constantly talking to the teacher, me and my group. And Mrs. Bell, our teacher, helped us in reviewing our thesis and revising it and making sure our thesis was very good and applicable to the stuff we were discussing. What strategies have you implemented to meet the deadline set? I personally made this seminar my number one priority. I pushed back all my religion, math homework, and my chemistry stuff just to make sure that this seminar was the number one thing that I had to get done. I made sure I was never wasting my time when we were working on this. I used a lot of good time management skills, and I just stayed focused throughout and made sure that this was done to the best of my ability. How do you know your work has met evaluation expectations? I pretty much finished everything ahead of time. I made sure everything that the rubric asked us to do, the checklist that the rubric wanted us to have, that I met and did everything to the best of my ability, such as the thesis and also the personal connection. I model my work with constant referral to the rubric, as I already said. Overall, what challenges did you run into during this process? Some challenges I faced was constructing accountable and good thesis for our presentation. This is because we just couldn't get the words right and figure it out, but over a couple of days we finally, with the help of the teacher, we figured it out. Also, meeting with my group mates was hard because everyone has different schedules, everyone's working, everyone has other commitments outside of school, so it was hard meeting up with them to practice our presentation together. What improvements did you make? So some improvements that I made was on the thesis. Our first thesis was very, very rough and not good at all, but we worked on it and finally got a thesis that I believe, in my opinion, was a level 4 thesis. And honestly, we made time for ourselves. We canceled stuff and made this our number one priority so we can hang out together and practice our stuff together at the library. Overall, did you feel this assessment appropriately demonstrated your knowledge of course concepts and ideas? Yes, I did. Yes, I do feel like this assessment appropriately demonstrated our knowledge of course concepts and ideas, as we put everything that we needed to have onto our paper. We didn't miss everything. Everything was done properly. I learned a lot of presentation skills throughout, and I learned how to create a PowerPoint with minimalistic words to have the best effect on the reader. Review evaluation criteria and provide a self-assessment. Okay, so I'm going to provide a quick self-assessment here. Some of the pros I believe in my presentation and our group was that the PowerPoint was good and included all the material required. I didn't miss out on anything. We used minimalistic words, as I already said, to keep the words down and use more pictures and GIFs. I thought I maintained some eye contact through the presentation, but I could have done a better job on that. My part wasn't memorized, I just knew my stuff, which was also very good, as I just knew my stuff and just kept talking. Some cons were I wasn't fluent and I was pretty nervous before presenting. My voice was breaking off too much when I was speaking, to the audience. I talked for way too long. I was rambling a lot, and although I did say all my points, I could have made it more clear and concise, short and sweet. And I had cue cards, which is not as bad as having a full script, but it would have been better for next time to just have nothing at all and just know my information from heart. Thank you for listening to my metacognitive self-assessment.